Good morning. So I'll be talking about introduction to the immune system. So the basic function of immune system is to detect, deflect, and destroy. So we'll be talking about it in detail. So first, coming to the definition, immunology, it is basically means exempt. It originated from the observation that individuals who recovered from infections do not get infected or rarely get infected second times. So the term is coming from immunis, which is Latin for exempt, and seeing back to the history, it was like first when people noticed people getting infected from black plague, they did not get infected once again. So that's how people came to have an idea of immunity, and so there was deliberate immunization was done for smallpox. So that's how they used to inject small weakened microorganisms or smallpox virus, and then they used to create immunity. Then these two scientists came and they improvised how the immune system works, and they found out all the mechanisms and all. So this was Edward Jenner using cowpox immunization for smallpox, and Louis Pasteur, he further attenuated microbes and laid foundation for modern vaccination. Now coming to the actual immunity, what we have, there are two types. There is innate immunity and acquired immunity. So the innate immunity, it is the body's first line of defense and is presented before infection. So it is like a barrier of a fortress, and there are various types of innate immunity, like physiological barriers such as pH of stomach, temperature change, and antimicrobial molecules, lysozymes, interferons. And there is anatomical barriers, that is skin, mucous membranes, that block the pathogen, prevent them from enter our body. Then there is also phagocytic barriers, that is the phagocytosis. If a pathogen enters, these cells engulf it and destroy it, kills it within. And then there is inflammatory response, that is it is cell mediated signaling, like histamines and certain kinins. They attract immune cells to wound area to prevent infections. Then there is adaptive immunity or acquired immunity. It is adaptive immunity. It's specific and it involves memory. So basically it stays for longer time, and there are specific key features such as antigenic specificity. So it is specific to specific bacteria or viruses, pathogens, and it is diverse. So there can be billions of unique antigens can be present, and immunologic memory. So these antigens, once they are made, they are stored in the body to prevent further infections, and also they have the self-recognition aspect as well. So they do not attack the own cell body; they only attack the foreign microbes, foreign substances, and so these can be divided into two types: B lymphocytes and T lymphocytes. B lymphocytes, they are matured in bone, and like they develop in bone marrow, and they are responsible for humoral immunity. They produce antibodies that neutralize pathogens. Some become memory B cells, providing long-term immunity. And then there is T lymphocytes. So they are more responsible for coordinate or kill the infected cells. They mature in thymus, and They do not T cells do not produce antibodies, but are essential for coordinating and executing immune response. So T cells are T helper cells that activate other immune cells via cytokines. They release molecules to activate other immune cells, and T killer cells that they kill the abnormal or cells or infected cells. Now coming to how immune dysfunction and what can be its consequences. So immune dysfunction is basically our body's defense acting against our own. So there are various conditions such as allergy, asthma. It is overreaction to harmless substance like pollen or some food material, some food substances. Then there is graft rejection and graft rejection. So the host immune system does not accept the transplant and rejects it. So then there is autoimmune disease. It is when the cell, the body fails to recognize the own cells and attacks their own cells. And there is immunodeficiency, like due to some pathogen attacking the immune cells. So they decrease their production and lead to immunodeficiency. Now, what are all the organs of immune system? They can be divided into primary and secondary. Primary is like central organs, primary lymphoid organs, and these include bone marrow and thymus, where bone marrow produces all the blood cells, and thymus is where T cells are mature. And then secondary or peripheral lymphoid organs, they are like lymph nodes, spleen, and mucosa associated lymphoid tissues, also known as MALT. And there are sites where mature lymphocytes encounter antigens and initiate immune responses. And this is the process, hematopoiesis, through which all the immune cells are formed. So all these cells are formed from the one cells, that is hematopoietic stem cells, which is found in the bone marrow. So the bone hematopoietic stem cells differentiate into various types of cells, and finally they form all the cells that we look in the next section. So they can be basically divided into two lineages, myeloid lineages and lymphoid lineages. After the first differentiation of hematopoietic stem cells, they form myeloid stem cells and lymphoid stem cells. So myeloid stem cells will give rise to macrophages, neutrophils, dendritic cells, etc. And lymphoid lineages will give rise to B cells, T cells, and natural killer cells. So here we will be talking about what are the cells that are present. There are four. Basically, they can be divided into four types: natural killer cells, lymphocytes, granulocytes, and phagocytes. Phagocytes are neutrophils, monocytes. They have the function of engulfing bacteria and killing the bacteria within the cell. So that we have seen before. And there is granulocytes. They contain small granules within them, which acts as which acts in response to the pathogens. They are like eosinophil, basophil, mast cells, neutrophils, and they are involved in allergy and parasitic infections. Then there is lymphocytes. Lymphocytes are B cells, so they produce antibodies. And then there is T helper cells that they coordinate immune response among the different cells. And there are cytotoxic T cells. They are responsible for killing the infected or cancerous cells that are present in the body. Then lastly, this is the natural killer cells. They are part of innate immunity, and their basic function, as the name says, is to kill the micropathogens, and they are like the first response whenever any foreign bodies enter our body. The natural when they pass the physiological barriers, these cells kill the pathogens and without prior sensitization. So this is how the mechanism the bacteria will show some surface markers, and the killer cells, the T helper cell will identify these markers and produce the antibodies against the cell. Then natural killer cells will detect those antibodies and then bind to that specific cells and kill those cells. So that's the introduction for immune system.